Welcome lads and let's welcome back to the KingMagna channel. Today I'm going to have a quick talk about all the boxing stuff that literally just happened. If you're watching this at a later time, all the stuff that just happened was the Dillon Danis, Logan Paul and the KSI Tommy Fury, and all of the undercards, of course. And I just want to give my quick thoughts and feelings before, anything, before I move on. I literally like to record these as soon as I watch the fight. I literally just stopped watching the fight about 20 minutes ago. And I'm going to break this video into 3 chunks. The first chunk I want to talk about is the undercard. I'm going to do this quickly. The undercard wasn't bad. Personally, I'd say it was probably one of the better things of the night, as the other 2 fights were just a bit shit, I'm going to be honest. I did miss the first 2 undercards, so apologies, I can't really comment on them. But the rest of them were alright. The Salt Poppy fight was alright. The King Kenny fight was just alright. All of them were just fine. I'd say a lot of the people, it seemed like they weren't trying, and that's like a theme of this whole night. It seems like a lot of people didn't really bother fighting. And I think this is very evident in the King Kenny fight, where it just seemed he didn't really care. He kind of just let the guy do whatever he wanted. He didn't really throw many punches. But with that said, I don't think it was a bad fight. I think the fight was completely fine. But we're going to move on to the other 2 now, and both these fights, I would say, were absolutely trash. They were awful. The first fight was Logan Paul, Dillon Danis, and what even was this fight? This entire fight was Dillon Danis not throwing a punch. There were 6 rounds for both of the fights, and in the 6 rounds, Dillon Danis threw 9 punches. He got 9 connects. How do you manage to do that in 6 rounds? 6 rounds. He got just over 1 punch per round. That's ridiculous. I think Logan Paul had 81 or something. Something ridiculous. So obviously, Logan Paul won. Landslide. And after Logan Paul had won, there was a little scuffle on the ground, and Dillon Danis tried to fight him after the bells went. He ended up looking like such a prat. He was such a little prick that entire fight. And honestly, this entire event was just so shit. I just did not enjoy it. I definitely paid for it. But for the people that actually did pay for it, I feel bad for. I definitely didn't pirate it, okay? I definitely paid for this fight, okay? But for the people that did pay for it, I feel awful. I feel awful. This was not worth paying. I think this was like a 30 quid ticket. Ouch. All these fights were just so mediocre. The last 2 big fights were so shit. I just can't get over it. I can't even talk about the fights that much because they were just so nothing. The Logan Paul and Dillon Danis fight, Dillon Danis just didn't do anything. He was just doing this the entire fight. He was just blocking the entire fight. He just didn't try. And then Logan Paul was just clobbering him. He was just throwing loads of hits. But, they weren't even good hits. It's just because Dillon Danis wasn't doing anything. There was no defense. In fact, no, there was the only defense. But the defense was shit as well. And, you can't just do defense. You also have to have a bit of offense. Because you're not going to get any points. There's no points there. So, Dillon Danis lost. He got destroyed. And then at the end, he obviously threw his dummy out. But what I think, a lot of people want to know about and want to talk about is Tommy Fury and KSI. Because this fight is what did I just watch? This fight was basically KSI hopping around after he's taken 10 lines of coke, just doing this the entire fight. This was his stance. It's like he was about to dance. He was about to just have a little boogie. This was terrible. I don't know what his stance was. I don't know loads about boxing. I know a little bit. I'm a little novice, but you don't really see that stance. Why is that a stance that anyone would use? This stance was so incredibly risky, and there was basically no payoff. What's the point? There was no reason to do that stance. But generally, I felt like KSI did more than Tommy Fury. Tommy Fury, it's like he was forced to be there. He was just like, just throw a few punches. Oh, man, this is boring, bro. I'm bored. Oh, block. And then at the end of it, it was just all grabbing. They'll just hold each other and go, buh, buh. And Tommy Fury had, I think, 2 points taken off because of hitting KSI in the back of the head. Which, to be fair, he did hit him in the back of the head 4 times. He constantly just kept backing him back of the head. Now, I don't know if I was watching this wrong, but I feel like KSI was also hitting him in the back of the head. I could have just had a weird perspective or something, but it did feel like he was hitting the back of the head as well. This fight wasn't good. This fight was awful. The Tommy Fury and Jake Paul fight was way better than this. I actually had, action. This whole fight was just them hugging each other, going to bone zone and just this is all it was. It just wasn't good. So I'm just thinking back and I've had a little bit to drink, so I'm a bit stupid. Sorry if my commentary isn't the best. Okay, sorry if it's not fine wine, okay? And generally, these fights were so bad, I think it's probably going to kill YouTube boxing because they were just so awful. The last fight of Tommy Fury and Jake Paul wasn't the best. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. This fight was just so shit. Tommy Fury just didn't want to be there. He did not care. He just had no interest in the fight. And KSI was on 10 lines of cocaine, flying around like he'd had 5 shots of coffee before. I think he had a few too many prime energies. I think he was so hyped up. But genuinely, that whole fight, it lasted too long. The build-up took ages as well. I want to play a quick clip now of my reaction after KSI had, been told that he'd, not done the best. I'll play that clip now.
This
is actually the worst
What are you
fight.
saying?
This is the worst fight I've ever seen, ever. All these fights today have just been so crap.
Right.
So doo-doo. Absolutely stinky balls. It's bad. Connor, what's your thoughts on the fights tonight?
I thought
The undercard ones were way better than the main card ones. The main cards have been fucking terrible.
But the undercards were still bad.
the undercards weren't too bad, to be fair. Are you filming?
Yeah.
He wants it doing.
For me?
What, for the KingMagna channel? Why are you on John's phone?
I don't have a phone. No, I want it to be a draw so no one actually wins.
Same.
That's the closest to a nothing.
56 to the winner by majority decision. Tommy!
Oh, what? What? Is he on?
Really?
No, that's
weird.
Neither of them deserve to win. That was
Majority
how has
as
he
well.
won that? Right.
How? What?
Right. No. Neither of them deserve to win.
Yeah, I mean, KSI, I feel like KSI did better though.
Oh, even though he was still ducking his punches though, he was just going on to it, clinching.
Yeah. This stunk, man, this stunk. Could you not recount thing where they ask for a recount? I think they should do that on this. Because this is just not right. But yeah, that's not really all I've got to say. In fact, one thing I'll do add actually is that I didn't add is the fight before the KSI fight was being stretched so much. Like this person came out to sing just a song and then someone sang the national anthem. KSI coming out in Lamborghini would have been funny if it didn't take another 5 minutes. There was a part where he started walking towards the ring. And then he turned around and started walking back to the Lamborghini. It's like, dude, it's a ring entrance. Go to the fucking ring. We want to watch the fight. Hurry the fuck up. We've been waiting for ages. It's midnight now. I want to go to bed. Fight him, lose, and then just go. And you know, normally with boxing, it's kind of frowned upon to ask for a recount, but I feel like this would be a situation when that's needed. Because Tommy Fury won the fight. Somehow. If you watch the fight, watch back, it felt like Tommy Fury didn't do anything. He was just there. He didn't really punch much. And the punches he did were just lackluster. Both of them looked like they could do another fight afterwards. Like, both of them looked fine afterwards. But, you know, I guess that's just like how it is. I mean, Tommy didn't look as bad as JJ. You know, after the fight, KSI was like visibly tired, visibly exhausted. Tommy Fury just looked like he just like walked in there. Tommy Fury was just literally just a little bit sweatier, and that's the only difference. Anyway, that's it from me today. Oh my god, I'm so fucking drunk, man. Remember to like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll catch you in another video.
Oh, what? What? Is he on?
Really?
No.